Hi everyone, Jeff from the Executive Gardener channel. Thanks for joining me. Hope you're having a great November. So when I started this channel, for those that haven't watched my first video, the channel was all about teaching people how to garden that live busy lives. Whether you're a mother, an executive, two working parents, it's also for people that don't have a lot of space and want to take advantage of gardening and growing your own healthy food in a small area. But let's focus on the first part of why I started my garden and the Executive Garden channel. So at the time when I started, I was a busy executive, like a lot of you watching this, and I was traveling 3 to 4 days a week, and I needed a hobby, and I knew I wanted to eat healthy and all that stuff, but I said, how in the world can I do it? How can I do that when I travel 3 or 4 days a week and maintain it? So the answer really lies in being easy and convenient. So this episode is about doing container gardening, which many of you do, but making it easy and convenient. So I'm going to show you two products that I use, and the one you've seen before, which is right behind me here, which is my GreenStalk Garden, and the other one is a product called the Aquacamel, which I've just started using. Now I want to remind everybody viewing, I do not get paid by these products. I use them because they work, okay? And the first one I know works, the second one I believe will work, but I try to show others what I use so you can learn from it. So, unfortunately, or fortunately, I'm still traveling 3 to 4 days a week, which means when I am not here, I need someone else to be able to take care of my plants. So my wife does the work most of the time, but what happens when my family goes on vacation for 10 days? I need someone that can come in here. It's too difficult for me to tell them, look, you need to water these 20 pots this much 2 times a day, 1 time a day. Inevitably, and you know this, it'll get messed up. And it's not the person's fault that's doing it, it's my fault because I haven't made it more convenient for somebody else other than myself that's busy and traveling to take care of my container garden, okay? Now, in my in-ground garden, I have automatic timer watering system, so that's well taken care of, but unfortunately, when you don't have a self-watering container, you need to continually water it, especially if you live in hot climates like I do, in Phoenix or in Florida, or any place that it gets over 90 degrees a lot of the year, okay? So that creates a problem. So let me show you the two things that I have that make it easy and convenient to do container gardening. If my wife has to fill in for me, or if someone else, a neighbor that I pay, has to fill in for me. And keep in mind, I get a lot of notes from people when they view my channel. This channel is not about gardening on the cheap, or inexpensive gardening, or efficient gardening. I started the channel up because I wanted to show people that if I could do it traveling 3 or 4 days a week, and find methods to do easy and convenient container gardening, then you could do it too, whether you're a mother that's busy at home, 2 working parents, a traveling executive, whatever the case might be. So when you ask me, and I'm going to get the comments, is this expensive? Yes, it does cost a little bit of money for convenience and for ease, but in the long run, it pays out. That's my opinion, but this channel is about teaching people, busy people, and all people how to garden, but especially busy people, okay? So I'm going to show you the two things that I use. Again, the Aquacamel and the GreenStalk Garden, and how it's made my life easier and more convenient for container gardening. Let me give you a close-up. So the first one we're going to start with, I'll show you, is the GreenStalk Garden. And you've seen this before. I've just planted my fall garden, so take a look at it, okay? It's 5 layers. You can go to greenstalkgarden.com. And they used to sell them, but now they're doing a Kickstarter. You can still get them, but the good news is that it's more affordable now. I think it's $130 or $140 for a 5-level GreenStalk garden. So let me brag on this a little bit, okay? I use it over and over again. I want to remind people, one of the great things about being easy, you don't have to weed it, okay? You do not have to weed this thing at all. You just recharge the soil with appropriate organic material every time you want to replant a new season. You do not get pests. The only thing I get sometimes are snails, and you can get copper tape to keep them from coming on. But I don't have any issues with pests either. So as you'll see here, let's just get a close-up. You'll see right now I'm growing a beautiful kale. I've actually cut off a lot of the kale already for salads, but beautiful kale You got lettuce growing there. I've got Swiss chard. I mean, look how beautiful that is, okay? Just unbelievably beautiful. I've got some radishes growing there as well. So there's 25 containers. So the great thing about this, and again, ease and convenience, is that you don't have to keep well, you do have to turn it, but it's on a thing that rotates, so you can just turn it and the base rotates, so you can get equal amounts of sun to all of your plants, okay? It's relatively simple to use and easy to use. Now the easiest part about this is that when I go away, I have a neighbor, a young lady who takes care of my plants, okay? So what I tell her to do, it's really easy, okay? Instead of asking her to go water 25 different pots, you take, as such, a watering can, one watering can, okay? That's 1.5 gallons. You fill it with water. And on top here is a reservoir, as you see, as such, okay? And you pour the container in, or this into the reservoir, fill it up to the top. As you'll see here, let me give you a close-up, there's a hole that goes all the way down, there's hole and there's reservoirs in each level that allows the water to trickle down to the very bottom and the excess flows out the bottom. That's it. I do not have to have this young lady go to 25 different plants. This takes care of itself. You do it once a day. It's easy to use, no pests, no weeding. When you go away, or my wife takes care of it, pour 1.5 gallons in the top once a day, let it go, okay? And then you tell her to rotate the thing a quarter turn every day. It's easy gardening. Anybody can do it. Anybody can grow. I spend very little time. That's another question I get from people. You must spend a ton of time on gardening. No, I don't. You can if you want, but I choose to do container garden and pick products and methods that are easier to use. Does it cost more? Yes, it does. But that's what I have to do to fit into my lifestyle and to make it work for me and to eat fresh vegetables, okay? So that's the first one. You've seen it. The link I've already sent, GreenStalkGarden.com. The second one, let me show you. It's a brand new one for me that I'm going to use, and I'll give you an update on it as well. But let me show you the second thing called the Aquacamel. So this is the second thing I'm using. So I found this. I met some friends that started up a product, and I had said, look, I don't endorse any products, but I'd like to take a look at it, and this is it, the Aquacamel. So I tried it out. It seems to be working pretty good. I planted it the other day. So let me show you what it does. It's pretty cool. So because we're getting into the winter time here, I have two crops. So there's a 1 gallon here, 1 gallon container, and a 3 gallon, okay? And you put appropriate potting soil in this. And here's what you do, okay? You plant it, and on the outside, as you'll see here, there's a reservoir, okay? And this reservoir, I believe, holds 2 or 3 gallons of water. You fill it up, and at the same time you dampen the soil, so it becomes a wicking action. So the container is self-watering. The soil pulls, there's a hole at the bottom of this container. It pulls from the entire outer wall, which is this complete part here is a reservoir, and it continues to fill water and feed your plant for you, okay? And this is a 3 gallon one, and you'll see I planted this broccoli plant the other day. Broccoli plants, we grow them in the fall and winter here, and this is a spinach plant. Spinach plant, the reason I'm using a 1 gallon is that spinach plant roots do not go deep and they spread out. So I love both, and this is what I'm going to do. Now the thing with the Aquacamel, and I'll give you an update later to see how this plant grows, I think it'll grow very well. Again, I can go away. I think with the big one, I can be away for 5 to 10 days. This one, I can be away 3 to 5 days, okay? And they will self-water themselves without me doing anything, which I love. Now, the thing with the Aquacamel, which they haven't perfected yet, I mean, you can plant tomatoes in here, peppers, and probably the big one. The smaller one, you can do flowers and so forth if you're into that. But you have to be careful because they can't be rained on. If they get rained on, there's no way for excess water that comes into the soil to drain out, okay? So essentially what will happen if it gets rained on, the plants will drown in their own roots. So what you'll have to do, and I've done, is I will grow mine in this flower house tent, okay? And I actually have 2 already set up in here. I'll show you what it looks like, and this is it. So this stays in here, so there's no chance, as you see, of rain getting on it. I keep this open, keep it cool. There's a spinach in the back and a broccoli again, okay? So I'm gonna keep all 4 in here, and I'll give you an update on how the Aquacamel goes. But again, no fuss, no mess. So I don't have to have my wife or people, we're going away for 8 days in the near future here. I don't have to have the person taking care of my plants water the Aquacamel. Now I have to have them water my GreenStalk Garden, but they don't have to mess with this. These things will be good, I think, for 5 to 10 days, both of them, I believe. So we'll try it out. But again, you have to, if you're going to grow the Aquacamel, and I'll put a link right here below for their website if you're interested. I believe the pots are, $20 to $40 each, depending on what size you buy. But easy, convenient, I like it. But you have to, again, get something to cover it up with because it can't get rained on, okay? It will drown out the roots. So, a little bit of an investment. Many of you maybe already have a flower house like this. If you don't, I'd get one. I think you can get them at Walmart for 40 bucks. But you will have to grow, let me get out of the shadow, this Aquacamel in a tent because it can't get rained on. Of course, you can also grow these if you're doing house plants and stuff inside or growing plants near a south window. You can use that as well, but no such luck for me. I don't have that. So Aquacamel, I'll give you an update on that as well. So thanks for joining me on this episode of the Executive Garden. Hope you're having a great November. And again, this is not for everybody. This channel is about people that have busy lifestyles and how you can fit gardening and eating healthy food into your lifestyle. Because if you say you can't do it because you're too busy, bull. I did it, I'm proof. The key is that, just like when you repair a bike or something at your house, you need the right tools. With gardening and with a busy lifestyle, which is what the Executive Gardener channel is about, you need the right tools. So if you buy something like the GreenStalk Garden or the Aquacamel, either one, and it's going to cost a little bit of money, but you too can enjoy fresh produce all year round, despite what environment you live in, and it just makes it easy and convenient for you to maintain a container garden. So again, I am not paid, I'm not endorsed by these two. Whenever I find new products that I like, that I buy, I bring them to you and share them with you. Buy them at your own risk, buy them at your own choice, but there should never be an excuse that you're too busy and you can't grow. These things make it very easy for very busy people. Thanks, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Take care, bye.